Hello, welcome to my channel StuckFiles. Today we will discuss about why it sucks to be a kicker in high pressure situations. You know what they say, the kicker has one job, but no one ever talks about what that one job actually feels like. There's no warm up for this, no second chance. You don't get 5 attempts. You don't get to regroup. You get one shot, one swing of the leg, and sometimes that one shot doesn't come in the first quarter. It doesn't come when the game's already in hand. It comes when everything is on the line. When 80,000 fans are on their feet. When your teammates, exhausted, bruised, and bleeding, are counting on you to finish the job. When millions are watching at home with their hands clasped, eyes frozen, waiting. It comes when your hands are sweaty, when your thoughts are racing, when the noise is deafening, and yet somehow all you can hear is the sound of your own heartbeat. And in that moment, the field becomes a stage. The snap becomes your cue. The spotlight finds you, and only you. You're not a football player anymore, that you're a performer walking a tightrope 50 yards above the ground, and no one brought a net. And if you make it, you're a hero, but only until next week. And if you miss it, you'll be blamed, shamed, replayed, memed, and maybe even replaced. Doesn't matter if you were perfect for 17 games. Doesn't matter if it was a bad snap or a lopsided hold. In the public eye, the kicker is either a legend or a loser. Nothing in between. That's the kicker's curse. And in today's episode of StuckFiles, we peel back the pressure-packed layers of the loneliest, most mentally demanding job in football. This is why it sucks to be a kicker in high-pressure situations. And make no mistake, it's brutal. Section 1. The most isolated position in football. Think about how football is structured. 11 players on the field, everyone moving in sync. Communication, blocking schemes, route trees, a complicated living organism working together toward a goal. Except for the kicker. The kicker doesn't get chemistry, doesn't get reps, doesn't get timing with the offense. The kicker waits. Alone, not even with a helmet on most of the time, just kicking into a net. Rehearsing a motion over and over again like a golfer practicing his putt. Waiting for a moment that may never come. And then suddenly, it comes. Timeout. Clock ticking. Coach points. Field goal unit. It's go time. And while the quarterback has hours of footage, pre-snap reads, and in-game adjustments to work with, the kicker has wind. Grass length. Crowd noise. Nerves. That's it. And everyone acts like it's easy. They say, you just gotta kick it straight. But that's not how it works. Angles matter. Plant foot matters. Timing, wind pressure, snap velocity, it all matters. There's a reason only a few men in the world can do it under pressure. And yet, they still don't get respect. You could hit 55-yard bombs in practice. You could be automatic all season. But the minute you miss a game winner, you're a choke artist. The camera zooms in on your face. The media digs up your stats. The fans say, cut him. No one says that when a cornerback gives up a touchdown, or when a left tackle allows a sack. But kickers? There's no margin for error. No second chance. You're either the hero or the headline. And both come with a price. Because even when you win the game, you don't get to celebrate. Your teammates run to each other. The QB raises his fists. And you just jog back to the sideline like it was nothing. That's the deal. You live alone in the moment. You die alone when it goes wrong. Welcome to the kicker's life. Section 2. All the pressure, none of the credit. Quarterbacks get the spotlight. Receivers get the highlight reels. Defenders get the hype. And kickers? Kickers just get blamed. In the NFL, few roles are more thankless. You train alone. You wait in silence. And when your number's called, you're expected to be perfect. No rhythm, no warm-up, no second chances. And if you nail the kick, no celebración, no credit. You just did your job. But if you miss, you didn't just lose a game. You're now the reason the team failed. The fans remember your name, not to cheer, but to curse. Ask Blair Walsh. Missed a 27-yarder in a playoff game. Career never recovered. Ask Cody Parkey. That double doink kick still haunts Bears fans. Ask Scott Norwood. His Super Bowl miss became a legacy of heartbreak in Buffalo. These weren't just missed kicks. They were defining failures, immortalized in slow motion. And here's the worst part. Kickers don't get the team's forgiveness. A QB can say the line broke down. A corner can say he slipped. But a kicker? One shot, one miss. That's it. You become a villain in a game that often treats you like you're not even really part of the team. You don't practice with the offense. You don't share the spotlight. And yet, when the entire season comes down to one play, it's your leg that has to deliver. No glory, no safety net, just pressure and consequences. Being a kicker isn't just a position. It's a gamble. And most of the time, even when you win, you still lose. Section 3. Isolated from the team, judged like a star. You're on the roster. You wear the uniform. You warm up on the same field. But you're not one of them. Kickers in American football live in a weird limbo. You're on the team, but never with the team. The offensive line isn't checking on your reps. The receivers aren't giving you tips. You train alone, stretch alone, focus alone, and when the pressure hits, you break alone. No one's huddling with you before the kick. No team mates rallying around you after a miss. Most of the time, they're already walking off the field, win or lose. The locker room feels distant. The chemistry is thin. You're expected to be automatic, like a machine, not a teammate. And yet, the expectations are massive. The media doesn't hold back. Social media, even worse. Your success or failure might only take 2 seconds of game time, but the consequences last for weeks. You're judged like a quarterback, but you don't get a quarterback support. No contract protection, no guaranteed reps. If the team loses, no one looks at the lineman who missed blocks. They look at you, the kicker, the outsider, the scapegoat. In a game built around team unity and collective fight, the kicker often stands completely alone. Section 4. You're only noticed when you fail. Most NFL players are remembered for what they do. A running back breaks tackles. A receiver makes highlight catches. A linebacker crushes someone at the goal line. But a kicker? You're remembered for what you didn't do. Not the 53-yard clutch kick in Week 5. Not the game winner in overtime last season. Just the one time you missed. That's what they're play. Over and over. Your failure becomes a meme. A nickname. A legacy. Nobody talks about your consistency. Nobody praises your focus, your form, your work ethic. You could be perfect all season, but that one bad kick, that's your story now. It's unfair, but it's the reality. And unlike other positions, you don't get a chance to bounce back in the same game. A QB throws a pick, he can come back the next drive. A safety blows coverage, there's another play coming. But a kicker misses in crunch time, that's it. Game over. And a narrative is written before you even leave the field. Coaches might lose faith. Teammates might lose trust. And fans? They never forget. Because for them, you're not part of the weekly grind. You're the easy job. So when you mess up, they assume it's personal. Like you choked. Like you cracked. They don't understand the wind. The pressure. The snap timing. The hold. The hundreds of technical variables that affect every single kick. They just see the ball miss, and then they blame you. Because in their minds, that's all you're there for. Section 5. No margin for error. No room for respect. The kicker's margin for error? Basically zero. One step off. One wrong plant foot. One gust of wind. And suddenly, you're the villain. In a sport full of chaos, missed assignments, broken tackles, miscommunications, the kicker is expected to be perfect. But the irony? Your whole role is shaped by everything you can't control: the snap, the hold, the blocking, the weather. If any of that goes wrong, your kick might fail, and you'll still take the blame. You can hit 29 straight kicks, and no one says a word. But miss number 30, suddenly you are inconsistent. You lose trust with coaches. They stop going for long kicks. They pass on field goals. And just like that, your career starts shrinking. What makes it even worse? Kickers are often treated like replaceable parts. Teams don't invest in them. One bad game, they'll just sign someone else. There's no safety net, no backup role. You're not part of the core group that gets media attention. You're not the face of the franchise. You're the guy who walks in cold, makes or misses and walks back out. No glory, no question, just the constant pressure of perfection. And it doesn't matter how tough you are. It doesn't matter how many kicks you've nailed in practice. If you miss in that one moment, the big one, that's who you are now. And the sad truth is, that might be the only thing people ever remember about your career. As we deeply discussed everything in all 5 sections, so now you know the most unforgiving job in football. Kicking in the NFL isn't about being a hero. It's about being invisible until the moment you can't afford to be. It's a role defined by isolation, pressure, and razor-thin expectations. You can't dance in the end zone. You don't get your name in lights. But one miss, one slip, and suddenly, everyone knows who you are. Not as a teammate, not as an athlete, but as the guy who cost them the game. You don't get do-overs. You don't get forgiveness. Just headlines. Just hate. And maybe, if you're lucky, a chance to prove yourself again next week. But even then, the shadow of that last miss still lingers. Being a kicker means living with that weight. Every week, every snap, every time the game is on the line. So next time a kicker misses under pressure, don't ask why he failed. Ask why anyone would ever want that job in the first place.